Today was the last Sunday of early voting, but by no means does that mean you can't still get in your ballots before Election Day. Queen City News reporter Sydney Heiberger is live in Uptown, where Bank of America Stadium has been fashioned into a bit of a polling site. And Sydney, you checked in with election officials here in Mecklenburg County about the turnout and how it's shaping up so far, right?
Right, Derek, I did, and I can tell you that more than 4,000 people across the county showed up to the polls to cast their ballots on this rainy Sunday. And I actually talked to election leaders who told us that by the end of this election, they're hoping and by all means expecting about a 50% turnout.
You're going to slide it in.
When analyzing early voter turnout, you want to measure apples to apples. That means using other midterm years as a benchmark.
This is higher than 14, but right on par with 18. And 18 was the high watermark for us.
As of Sunday, 105,359 people in Mecklenburg County cast their ballot early. More than 8,000 of those were cast by mail. And that's music to election officials' ears.
If I can do a couple 100,000 people to vote early and another 20,000 to vote by mail, that puts my election day a lot more manageable.
For some voters, an election in a midterm year is no different than any other.
I was watching Henry Louis Gates Making Black America, and one of the people on the thing, I watched it last night, said putting politicians in charge of politics is a terrible idea. We need to put voters in charge of politics. So that's why I'm here.
And it's a tumultuous time in politics, which means voters have a lot of important issues on their minds.
Reproductive issues with women, it was a big something I wanted to make sure that I voted for.
Though early voting on Sundays is over, there's still an entire week left to cast a ballot before Election Day. Some advice from the election office before you go.
If history proves itself, it's going to mean that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be, I can get in and get out in a pretty good fashion. But when I wait till Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, your lines are going to be longer.
Yeah, and if you didn't get that vote in today, do not worry. You still have all of this upcoming week to do so. The last day to cast an early vote is Saturday, November 3rd. By 3 p.m. And if you need information about how and where to do that, we do have all of that for you on our website and QC News app. I'm live in Uptown. Sydney Heiberger, Queen City News.
Thank you, Sydney. Queen City News is your local election headquarters, and coming up in just a moment, we will have a QR code for you to scan on your early voting resources. But ahead of the election, there are new numbers out on how much money has been raised in North Carolina's hotly contested Senate race. Democrat Sherry Beasley's campaign reported collecting just under $5 million in contributions compared to $1.5 million on her Republican challenger, Ted Budd. This comes amid a slew of new endorsements for Beasley, such as former President Barack Obama and several prominent state religious leaders. As we head into November, now is the time to use your phone's camera app to access our Queen City News election information. A scan of the QR code on your screen will take you to our website's election page. We'll have a voter's guide on when and how you can vote in the statewide general election. Again, that's coming up on the 8th.